Hello. I got up early to go to a meeting and it's been cancelled. So I'm sort of mooching around a bit. And it made me think that the issue of the fellow who has apparently converted to Christianity in order to dupe the asylum system, how do we know what is what? Well, in the Acts of the Apostles, in I think chapter 5, there's the rather curious story of Ananias and Sapphira. These are people who see an advantage in converting to Christianity. They sell land like they'd seen the Apostle Barnabas do, and Barnabas sold the land, gave the money to the church, and everybody was terribly impressed, so they got on the bandwagon. But although they said they were giving all the money, they didn't. They held some back. So they were duplicitous, hypocritical, and as a result, they were struck down, dead. And it's a rather strange story. Rather like the cursing of the fig tree in the gospel. Strange stories. But I think it talks about the importance of honesty and authenticity. And people do a lot of things because they think there is advantage, because they are frightened, because they are scared. You can think of the forced conversion of Jews in Spain in the late Middle Ages. There are so many reasons why people feign a belief. It doesn't necessarily mean that they are wholly wrong, but it does mean that they are duplicitous. And without a proper understanding of what's going on, without proper religious education, nobody can possibly fathom what is truthful and what is not. And that's why I find it so frustrating that we are so benighted with an education system which poo-poos what I suppose in the past we would have called the arts or the humanities. When I was in Russia, I was always entertained by the fact that everything was considered a science. And theology, my subject, was always defined as the queen of the sciences, which struck me as rather silly. Not in Russia, of course. That would be perfectly appropriate. But here, you think a real subject is something like maths. Well, yeah, maths is the subject to test your intellectual capacity, but to understand what's going on, you need to be able to test people's veracity. That means you need a subject which prepares you for law, for history, for analysis. I think I've been very well prepared by studying theology, and I open up legal documents, read them with comparative ease. I open up history books, I read them with ease. I listen to politics with ease. And when I'm in a classroom of almost any age, whether 8-year-olds or 25-year-olds, it's fairly easy to get the impression that somebody hasn't done any work, and it's fairly easy to get the impression that somebody's worked very hard. And there are so many reasons why people don't work hard or why people haven't done the work. It's not just because they're lazy. But having that sense that something isn't quite right, I think that should be a key ingredient of the Home Office. I think the Home Office is indolent, lazy, and staffed by people who don't know what they're doing. And the story of the fellow with the chemical attack, with the person alleged to have committed the chemical attack on the run, who apparently was last seen in King's Cross, is incredibly fine testimony to the uselessness of the Home Office and to the uselessness of our system. And while on the one hand we've got somebody like that on the run, on the other hand we've got Afghans who helped us in the war in Afghanistan against the Taliban, who are languishing in hotels, or who are being threatened with deportation because the only way they could get to this country, to the people they trusted and the people who could help them, was by small boats, because all other routes were closed. And that is not justice. That is not honesty. That is also duplicity. We need to be seen to keep our word, and to drum up some fake law to get out of our responsibility, that is keeping our word, is not the actions of an honest and reliable country. And it makes us look scurrilous. And I am ashamed of the Suella Braverman period, and particularly those two laws which have tried to define what is and what is not, quote, an illegal migrant. That is very clearly defined in international law as somebody who has not got a visa and who has not claimed asylum. And it is very clear it's got nothing to do with the route that somebody took to this country if they were claiming asylum. That is fully covered by the 1951 Refugee Convention, and the Suella Braverman laws are defying that 1951 convention just as much as we are trying to defy international opinion with the Rwanda is safe law. Goodness knows we all want Rwanda to be safe, but to defy the Supreme Court by padding out one sentence which is ambiguous and failing to read the entire document. The entire document says that the judgment is based on the fact that Rwanda is not safe. There's no need to go further and look at further issues, and therefore the document in the Supreme Court implies that there were further issues. There's just no need to look at them. I think we probably need to.